A very good afternoon and welcome to the sixth edition of ExpressO Talks. This also happens to be the first time I'm really doing this. I mean, although I've been invited to several forums like that, but personally, I don't like talking about myself. Parents had no clue that they called me viral, and one day it will become so viral. Just kidding. When I was in school and college, I had no idea what I'll be because I had interest in media and entertainment industry, but I didn't know. I had no clue. There was nobody to tell me क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. This is the way. This is the route. So what I did, I got all my graduation done, all the degrees. I even got my management done. And while I was in college, I started working with media houses. I started freelancing for television channels. I started selling insurance. I was selling perfumes, was aftershave, going office to house, selling things. I didn't need money. I just needed the experience. I needed to know where my core lies because I really didn't understand myself what my interests lie. So that was going on, and I am not a professional photographer, by the way. I have never been to any school. In fact, I love to be part of these seminars and try to understand how it actually goes. What I did was I actually bought a small camera, which nowadays these kids, I think even they'll be ashamed to use that kind of small camera. A small camera, and I started learning tricks from that. And that's how I became a photographer. So initially, when I passed out of my college, I started working for small media houses, very small, not very reputed ones. And that time, internet was at a very nascent stage. Like we were like still figuring out. We were going to the cyber cafes. क्या हो रहा है? कौन से site है? Yahoo क्या है? Nobody knew exactly what it was, and I actually started the whole internet thing. I was like right from the beginning when the Bollywood websites were there and all that. But like publicists like her over there, she'll never invite me because I had no reputation, I had no respect in the market, so I was not invited at the parties, not at the premieres. Even if I had to review a movie, तभी तो book my show नहीं था. So I had to stand outside a theater for hours and hours to get a ticket and then finally review the movie. It was that bad. One incident was so bad. एक film party में गया था मैं और I had a press release in my hand and that publicist came. ये तेरे लिए नहीं है, चल ले निकल तुम यहाँ से. It was so rude. I mean, he said you didn't deserve it because I obviously was not a position. I was not from Times of India. If you're from Times of India, people respect you. If you're not from a reputed print publication, nobody gives a damn about you. I think those things were rude and I felt bad. But looking back, it actually helped me because I realized since I could not be part of the system, I might as well change the system. So what I did is I started looking out for probable business partners across the world through internet. I started my own publication in the US, then one in South Africa, and I started collaborating in Canada, Australia, UK, everywhere. In fact, I even started translating Bollywood content in Japanese, French, every damn language, wherever the market was, because Bollywood is globally very big. So all this actually helped me financially. So I started building up my team, and that's where I started a content agency. A content agency means like what I started selling pictures to media houses across the country and across the world. So in fact, today also almost all the major media publications across the country are working with me. But with all this comes pressure. This work is not easy. You have to work 24 hours. And if you don't give, even if you're 2 hours, if you're late with the pictures, then you miss the bus. So an incident like that happened with me. I'd gone for a fashion show, and the pit was something like this. Itna chota tha. And very big fashion. So a lot of big Bollywood stars were walking the ramp, the big designers. Obviously, there was huge excitement. Everybody wanted to be part of it. So we were all stuffed in there. And I was like this, and the show started late. So what happened? My blood circulation stopped. Now a clot traveled from my leg, and it blocked my right lung. And I started suffocating. मेरे को पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं. I just went home. I told my mom ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है क्या करूँ मैं. So we went to the doctor. Doctor said that if you were 10 minutes late, you would have died. So this is the viral Bhayani 2.0. Actually, the second version of me because I had almost died. I was there in the hospital for almost a month. I was in the ICU. I saw so many people dying in front of me. It was so bad. We went to the leading cardiologist. He said that if you're treated, there are two chances. Either you'll survive or you won't. So I was not treated that time. But life moves on. I mean, these things are there. Even my left leg was paralyzed, partially paralyzed that time. It was really bad. In fact, when I used to see people walk, I could not even walk. It was that bad. In fact, recently I came across this news. There was this young guy, he's a sound engineer for Houseful 4, which just came recently. And he had a blood pressure problem, and his brain hemorrhage happened, and he died. This happens with our profession because the kind of time we give, we don't sleep, and it's a little crazy. So that is the whole thing. But there was a good part. I met food critic Rashmi Uday Singh. So and I like I told you, I'm very shy. I don't like talking about my work. I do a lot of things, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to write about it. So she said, "Why don't you put your pictures and write about it?" So if you map Pinky Roshan, talk about Pinky Roshan. What is she doing? How was she? What did she tell you? All those things you write. So I started writing about it, and people started appreciating it. So after 5,000 became 10,000, and suddenly it was 1.2 million followers. So it was really crazy. I mean, it was good fun, and I really am thankful to everybody for all the love and appreciation which they've given me till date. Thank you very much.